A very good morning to all of you. 7th A, welcome to the biology class. Children, open to page number 130. In the last class, we talked about the introduction and we talked about in what form does excretion take place in different animals. Now, today we are going to talk about the excretion system, or you can say the excretory system in detail. So, open to page number 130, 130. Now, children, open to page number 130. All of you, have you opened to page number
Yes, ma'am.
130? Okay. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, children, as we have talked in the previous class, that excretory material is not only urine or not only feces. There are other excretory products also which are not required by the human body or by the body of the animals, and they need to be released out of the body from time to time. Yes. So similarly, today we are going to talk about the whole system. We are not going to consider some of them, some of the organs, you can say, that helped us in excreting out some of the excretory product, but the excretory system which we are going to talk about today in detail will be including and will be telling us about how the purification of the blood takes place. Okay, so let's talk about it. Human beings have some excretory organs like sweat glands under the skin, as I have already told you, for excreting liquid waste. For excreting the solid waste out of the body, we have what? Anus. Yes, the undigested food material, as we have talked about in the digestive system, children, in lesson number 2, it gets stored in the rectum part, and then it through the anus it is excreted out of our body. That is the solid waste. And the nostrils for the excreting the gaseous waste. As I have talked about it, that carbon dioxide is one of the gas which is hazardous, which needs to be given out, and through our lungs or from the lungs through our nose, this is given out. Then we have, they however do not form a separate excretory system. They are the organs that help in excretion, but they do not form the separate excretory system. So the human excretory system mostly comprises of the urinary system. We are going to talk about the urinary system. The kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, urethra, which is the opening, this forms the the excretory organ in or excretory system in humans. So again, we talk about them. The kidneys, a pair of kidneys, then ureters, which are the pipettic structure, then you have the urethra, urinary bladder, and then you have the urethra. So this forms the human excretory system. And why we have talked about the rest of them? Because they also help in removing out the different waste or toxic waste from the body. So that we have already covered. Fine, children, any confusion till here? I'm waiting for your answer, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, when we talk about the excretory system, here we talk about some organs which assemble together, which work together, and they help in passing out the urine from the body. So let's see. Now look into the diagram on page number 130. Follow that diagram. Take a pencil in your hand, or you can use your finger even. On both the side, you can see the bean shaped structure. Yes, like have you seen Rajma? Rajma, have you
Yes,
seen?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And Rajma is called kidney beans. Why? Because they are kidney shaped. So this is the shape, as you see the shape of the Rajma, the same is the shape of the two kidneys on either side, and they are located. Let's talk about them. The two kidneys are located on either side of the vertebral column. Now just take your hand like this, and from the back portion, from the lower back portion, just start moving your hand upwards in the center. Can you observe something? Just tell me yes or no. Can you observe some bone-like structure? Yes
Yes,
or no?
ma'am.
Yes. And you now you keep your hand below the neck portion here. Just see, is it here also or not in the center? As if something is made of small little bones. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is the vertebral column. It is made up of vertebra, yes, and these vertebra children together they form a column-like structure which we address to as backbone, or we talk about it as vertebral column. This helps us to stand straight, to sit straight, yes, and that is why often teachers tell you to sit straight so that your backbone is not affected. If you sit like this, okay, you should sit in proper posture. So on either side of the backbone, the back portion, you can see, I mean you cannot see, but these kidneys are located. Then they are reddish brown bean shaped organs. Each kidney is attached to a thin, now you just have follow the diagram. Each kidney is attached to a thin long tube which is called ureter. Can you see the yellow color tube, children? Yellow color tube? Keep saying yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is a tube which is connecting the kidney, both the kidneys to the bladder. Fine. So it is called ureter. This is called ureter. On the inner side, the waste present in the blood is removed from the body through the kidneys. Now, as we have already talked about that some waste material is present in the blood, and this blood, the waste material in the blood needs to be removed out. So how is it removed out? The kidneys help to filter the waste. So there are small function unit called nephrons within the kidney. Now, if we specifically talk about the kidneys, children, inside them there are small units, the smaller structures which are called nephrons. Nephrons are made up of a bunch of blood capillaries which is called glomeruli. What is it called? Or if you say glomeruli?
Glomeruli.
Glomeruli.
All of you?
Glomeruli.
Yes.
Glomeruli.
Yes. And singular is glomerulus. Say glomerulus.
Glomerulus.
Yes.
Glomerulus.
Glomerulus. Okay. So the glomeruli filter the blood. The blood that is there, they filter the blood and separate the useful blood from the harmful one. Now just tell me in the diagram why these in the center you see these red and blue structure. What is that? What is that? That red and blue pipe-like structure. What is that? If you have listened to,
Ma'am,
yes,
veins.
yes, it is the inferior vena cava. Why inferior vena cava? What was the work of inferior vena cava? Remember when we talked about the
Yes,
functioning of
ma'am.
the heart? Yes, what was it work? Its work. I told
Ma'am,
you.
ma'am, to pump blood to that organs which are below the which are below to the heart.
To pump, no. To, yes, you are correct. In a sense, you are correct. Its work was to carry, see, from the upper parts also and from the lower parts also, the blood is carried to the heart for purification. Yes. So the lower parts, all the lower parts, your legs and all the parts, they carry the blood through which vena cava? Through the inferior vena cava. So here you have inferior vena cava, and this helps in taking the impure blood for the purification purpose. Okay. So that is why you see the inferior vena cava, blue. Then they separate the useful blood from the harmful substances. Now the useful substances are absorbed back into the blood. Yes, whatever useful substances are there, they'll be absorbed by the body, they'll be absorbed by the blood, and they'll be taken again to the various specific places where they are needed, where they are required, and the ones which are not required, they will be expelled out. The waste dissolved in water are removed as urine. From the kidneys, the urine goes to the, now just see, again have a look from the kidney. The urine, it goes to the, where? It goes to the ureter, the pipe-like structure from both the sides of the kidney. You see the pipe-like structure, and that is the ureter. So it goes to the ureter, and then it goes to the bladder. Where it goes?
Bladder.
Bladder. And here in bladder, it gets filled. It's not ladder. Who is it? Telling me the answer. It's not ladder, it's bladder. Ladder means CD. Yes. So bladder, it fills in the bladder, and then when the bladder gets filled, then of course you have to go to the washroom so as to expel out the urine. Now just see, remember, Children, sometimes in the class you must have experienced, everyone, you say that, ma'am, may I go to the washroom? Yes. When you ask your teacher that, ma'am, may I go to the washroom, that means your bladder is getting filled. Yes, and when the bladder will be filled, if you do not go for urination, if you do not go for expelling out the urine, it will be a problem. So, time to time, you have to. So, see, whatever we are studying in the diagram, it is actually happening in our body. It is one of the important systems of our body. Yes. So, when the bladder from the kidney through the ureter in the bladder, the urine gets collected, and then through the urethra it passes out. So when the bladder is getting filled, then only you feel like that, yes, you need to go to the washroom for expelling out the urine. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So urine is stored from the kidneys. The urine goes to the urinary bladder through the ureters. Urine is stored there until it passed out through the urinary opening at the end of the muscular tube, which is called the urethra. You can see very well in the diagram, urethra. Now, an adult human being normally passes out about 1 liter to 1.8 liter urine in a day. That means in 24 hours. Urine usually consists of, now see, 95% of water. Yes, it is all watery. So 95% of water, and the 5% which is left, it includes 2.5% of urea and 2.5% of the other waste which is accumulated in this. Again, 95% of water, and out of the 5% which is left, in that only 2.5% is urea and the other 2.5% is the other waste. Any problem?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, children, if it happens so that your kidneys do not work or there is some problem with the kidneys, when can this happen? When does it happen that your kidney is not working properly or there is some problem with the kidney? When can it happen?
When we don't when we don't do urine on time.
Hmm? Yes. Good. If we do not go for urination, then of course, yes, it can damage. Then what else? Anything else?
Ma'am, it will
If
kidney.
happen,
We will
Not taking good
our
time.
kidney.
if we do not take care of our kidneys, okay. See, what happens, children, that one of the child has said that, see, if there's some infection, yes, infection, it is caused by microorganisms. You never know also that when it reaches your body and it starts infecting your body. So first thing is that we need to take care of ourselves. If we are suffering from any type of infection, see, our body, all the systems, all the organs, they are interconnected. Yes, blood is flowing throughout, it is circulating throughout our body, and if one of the organ is getting affected, then it is quite possible that the other organ can also cause infection. So the first thing is that we need to take care. If the body is infected, we need to take care of it. We need to treat. Second thing is we need to go for urination from time to time. We need to go to expel out the waste